They want to cheat, they have cheated, and their policy is so bad that the only way they can get elected is to cheat.
President Trump wants to change the rules for federal elections. Washington Secretary of State Steve Hobbs calling it deeply concerning for all Americans. President Trump says that he wants to get rid of vote by mail and require proof of citizenship for voters. Our Olympia Bureau Chief Drew Mickelson sat down with Washington Secretary of State, who says those ideas are horrifying. Drew.
Yeah, Joyce, that's what the secretary told us. He was in Washington, D.C. already. He was there ahead of the speech to raise some concerns about this so-called Save America Act. And he got back here today and told us these changes would make elections more expensive. It would make it harder to vote. And he doesn't think the changes are necessary.
And perhaps most importantly, I'm asking you to approve the Save America Act.
President Donald Trump wants Congress to require proof of citizenship to register to vote and to show IDs on Election Day. He also would like to end vote-by-mail elections.
The cheating is rampant in our elections. It's rampant. It's very simple. All voters must show voter ID.
I was pretty horrified, actually.
Washington State Secretary of State Steve Hobbs was inside the House of Representatives chamber during the State of the Union address as a guest of U.S. Senator Maria Cantwell. Hobbs says the Save America Act would only disenfranchise voters and cause costly logistical problems for counties. Everyone in the state would have to re-register. He wishes the president would focus more on cybersecurity risks than making claims Democrats cheat at elections.
That's horrifying to even say that, because now you're setting up expectations that if the party they're directing the attack to wins, then obviously they're cheating.
In the state of Washington, to register, potential voters must now check a box declaring they are citizens. According to the Secretary of State's office, since 1982, Washington has had 15 cases of a non-citizen voting.
It is certainly a potential for problem, and I believe it's a bigger problem than the Secretary of State is acknowledging.
State Republican Party Chair Jim Walsh backed an initiative last year to require written proof of citizenship to register to vote. That campaign failed to gather enough signatures, but Walsh says he'll try again this year.
What we're asking for is a higher level of security, of an ID check when you're registering to vote, not when you're voting. We're trying to make the reform at the point of registration, and we believe that would be enough to clean up the voter rolls and keep them current.
Secretary Hobbs says if Congress passes the so-called Save America Act, the state of Washington will sue to try to get it overturned. Joyce?
So, Drew, if it survives that legal battle, how would that change things for Washington state elections?
It could be interesting to see how it plays out. In theory, it's only going to impact federal elections, so congressional races, presidential races. Those voters would have to re-register and qualify, prove their citizenship. The secretary told us in theory they could have a local election where people could vote on one ballot and then have a federal election, but he says realistically they'd probably have to combine them, which would mean everyone in the state would have to re-register, provide that proof of citizenship, and show an ID when they want to get a ballot.
Wow, that would be everyone in every state. Wow. Drew Mickelson, thank you.